Of course.
So I'm gonna wait to shut off the volume so I don't get the echo, and then I'll go live. Okay, so this and Miss Kelly is there. I'm here, record on this computer. Hi, I'm back. Hi, everyone. It's me, Andra, and I am here with Kelly Montgomery, one of my co-authors in Unleash Her. I love Kelly. We did meet at the book signing, and I absolutely adore you. So I just wanted to really spend some time with you and talk about what you're doing, because I know that you're in the online space like myself, and what it's like to now be like a best-selling author and stuff like that. So how does it feel?
Uh, so it's really surreal. I'm still kind of pinching myself because this has been on my vision board since I was a really little girl. I've always known that I wanted to write and like share my story and be someone who inspired other women and other gals that were like me growing up. So it's crazy. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think that all of us really wanted to write. I loved writing as a child, but I never thought about doing it seriously. Um, I didn't think anybody would want to read what I wrote because, that was my own insecurities. And the book kind of helped me really step into myself. I think I was playing a little small. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this kind of gave me my voice too. So I'm grateful for that. It's been a great experience for me. So what was the hardest part about writing your chapter?
The hardest part about writing my chapter was actually having to kind of relive the moment. I feel like that would be the hardest for each of us, really, because it's such a powerful story that we connect so much emotion to, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it was just reliving the moment, but then I also felt such a tremendous sense of pride for what I've overcome. And I have read other chapters as well, and I relate with a lot of the women, just like you were saying, you relate with a lot of the women. Like I relate with almost every single person in the book at some level. So I mean, it just feels that much more powerful. But man, writing my chapter was again surreal.
I think that what you said is very poignant here because we are all from different parts of the world, and a lot of our experiences are interconnected in a lot of ways. We've all gone through similar things and come out the other side. And for me, that sends a message that there's a lot of us out there feeling like, because we almost felt like we kind of deserved those bad behaviors and the stuff we were going through, or that we had done something to attract that to us. Did you feel that when you were reading the stories?
I did. So, and that's something I actually talk about, especially when I'm working with teens, teen girls who struggle with that, because the pain becomes such a normal thing that we go through, each and every day, that you start to feel like when you're breaking away from the trauma bonds, when you're breaking away from the negative experiences, it starts to feel as if, wow, do I really deserve this, because this is all I've ever known. So now I'm treading new territory and moving into a space that I feel like I deserve, but do I deserve it? And I connected that too with a lot of our stories, and we share that, it's stepping out of our comfort zone and moving into something new. It's terrifying, and sharing our voice and proclaiming authority in the spaces that we're thriving in, that can feel really scary.
I really love what you just said. For me, I never struggled with failure because that felt normal to me because of the lifestyle I was living. but anytime I got close to succeeding at something, I almost always got scared and withdrew. Like, do I deserve it? So I think this book is really going to send that message to women that we do deserve not just to live a good life or a mediocre life, but to live the best life that we can live and just embrace who we are. I like CJ says, that she accepting all her parts, the good and the bad. And that's what this really is about, that none of us are perfect. We all go through things, but we have to be gentle and really love ourselves and step out into who we are. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. I agree like 1,000%, because I mean, like I said, when we come from a hard background, sometimes we have those negative voices in our head when we're stepping forward into something that we know we're called to do, so it can really push us to self-sabotage, which is something that I've struggled with my entire life, but I'm finally, breaking out of it. And to see all of these other women become empowered and break out of it too is just beyond mind blowing.
So what is it like? Because I know you're on in the online space like I am. What was it like for you to come out and share your story and really step into that? Was it difficult in the beginning?
Uh, it was very much more difficult in the beginning than it is now. Um, but even now, it's still difficult for me. It's being in the online space. It's more about my mental health and like preserving my mental health, because when I am on social media too much and replying to comments and making content and stuff like that, I kind of send myself into like a um, downward spiral of my mental health, and having ADHD, other mental illnesses from my own childhood experiences, that can become overwhelming. But being in the space and leveraging social media to get my message out into the world, I mean, there's no way I would be a part of this book without social media, so it's so powerful to be in the online space. And I hope that all of these women who read our book, they grow to see that. They're like, oh, okay, I can do this too. How can I leverage social media?
I struggled in the beginning when I first came online. When I was little, I used to, I think, talk funny. Like I had problems with some words, spaghetti and things. There was just certain words I couldn't say. So I felt very uncomfortable on camera and things like that. And um, for other reasons too. I modeled when I was younger. I had bad experiences, and I just didn't really like being the center of attention. When I was the center of attention, it was because I was involved in something bad, and that so it was very hard for me to come out and share who I am and be transparent with people. But people want to know who we are. They need that connection. So
Right.
with time that comes, I think, you know but I think your message and what you're doing with children and women is so much more important. So I'm glad you're here.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what would you like to see come out of this book experience? Would you like to get this in the hands of all women?
Yeah, I would love to get this in the hands of all women, particularly the ones who really struggle to like look in the mirror and see their self-worth, like the women and the teens who have a hard time loving themselves as they are. Like they wake up in the morning and the first thing they think about is, did I gain an extra pound? Or am I going to be smart enough today? Am I going to be enough at all today? But what about the women? Like, I don't know. So women just need to know that they're enough for them. Like, we need to know that we're enough for us first, right? And a lot of women struggle with that. And I feel like Unleash Her is pushing women in the direction of loving themselves first. right, of being able to unleash their inner power and step into that space where they can look in the mirror and say, wow, I really love this version of me. I really love myself.
That's so important because you really, really can't love anybody fully until you have that love for yourself. And the people that we encounter are reflections of how we feel about ourselves. So if you want to encounter good people, then you should reflect good, right? You should absolutely feel good. I like what you said about children. I was really surprised to learn that children as early as 6 or 7 are struggling with body dysmorphia and not feeling okay in their skin. And that's so sad to me. I am in healthcare, that someone as young as 6 would feel like they need to change or they need to be different. And I almost feel like society sets us up for that we're always looking outside of ourselves for more instead of just looking in for what we really possess already. See, does that make sense?
Absolutely. So this is actually something I talked about in my chapter, and that is me as young as 5 years old. I would look in the mirror and say, wow, I hate myself. I was 5, and I think about all the other little girls and boys who struggle with that, who look in the mirror and they're like, wow, I really don't like myself. And it's sad because kids who are like that, they're reflective, they're reflecting the adults around them, right? So,
Yes.
and that's kind of
So
like a
true.
mind, right? It's a mind-blowing fact because you have the narcissistic mom, the abusive dad. That's just a normal setup for a toxic family, right? But your child reflects all of that. So when a child is reflecting in the mirror and saying, I hate myself, they're really reflecting what their parents have pushed onto them. So it's sad, but I mean, this book is really breaking chains for a lot of women who might have felt that at one point.
Well, I hope it reaches the children too, or at least helps women be that best part of themselves, because that is going to reflect on our children, like you said. you know I know as a child I suffered, I guess depression is mental illness, and I don't know if I was bipolar or what, but I had severe highs and severe lows, and that's something I didn't share before. And I think that because people don't share it enough, there is so much stigma. So I'm not really worried about what people think of it, because I'm okay today with whatever it was or whatever it is. But I know as a child, I was always really depressed. I didn't understand why I was living, because I felt that bad inside when I woke up sometimes, like, uh-oh, another day. And when I think of another child feeling that way, it's heartbreaking. But I don't know why I felt that way. It wasn't so much the people around me. Nobody made me feel like I didn't belong or I didn't fit in. I just internally, innately felt like I didn't fit in anywhere, like I was different,
Right.
and I pushed people away. I was always because I didn't know how to love, because I didn't have that love for me. So I want, really, I hope that's a message that gets to people, that to love yourself, because all of my relationships got better. I got better the more that I accepted who I was fully, you know?
Yes, I absolutely, yeah, I agree. And I come from that similar background of, not learning how to love because I never knew what love was. I was never showed that. I rarely got hugs and kisses. Um, so I feel I sympathize and I empathize with you on that for sure. But it's something that needs to be addressed in the world, especially for the children. Um, I mean, they're our future generation. So we got to do better.
I absolutely agree. We have to do better. And I love what you're doing in your work. I want you, I know that you're on Facebook. What is that about? What are you doing on Facebook? Tell me, girl.
I monetize Facebook the most just because I have more of an outreach there, and I can reach all of my networks people as well. I'm also trying to monetize TikTok, which I'm still learning how to do. But what I do is I share like very transparent blog posts about my struggles and my life, and then of course you'll see my beautiful children on there as well. Um, my successes, my hardships. I share everything. And by doing that, um, I'm reaching out, I'm reaching women and teens who need that similar message, who need my message to step into their higher self, to step into their higher vibrational alignment, to step into their next level of self love.
You talk about vibration, and when we first connected, you had that whole aura set up around you. Do you believe in the law of attraction like I do?
Ugh, every day, all day. I believe your vibration attracts like vibration.
I absolutely, when I first started telling my husband things like that, he thought I was like a little woo-woo, like what is she talking about? But people don't understand that, like, of course, if you're in a negative mood, that's what you're going to see all day. But if you project happiness, it's hard to look at someone that's smiling and happy and be sad, right? So I really buy into all of that wholeheartedly, and I really believe what you put out there is going to come back to you. So
Yes.
um for me, I didn't really have a hard time writing this book, like reliving because it kind of gave me that power, because I guess because I did figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you did, everybody in the book figured it out, but because I was past it, you know? So I think if I was still in it, it would have been more difficult to share. But because I had been able to break free and really unleash that part of my life, let go, that I felt a sense of wellness that I've never felt, because
Right.
it was really the first time that I was sharing a lot of those things with people, as a complete story, where I wasn't telling people bits and pieces of who I was, that I was just being transparent. This is me, like it or not. So
Right. Yeah.
it's
And your
very,
chapter just like, oh, it's beautiful. So I mean, yours is one that I read too, and I was just like, this woman, so much love for her. Um, yeah, so I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for taking part in this book, especially with you. That's awesome.
I would love for us all to get together and collaborate, actually speak out more to other women together as a group. Um, there are people that have been in Hannah's other books that
Mhm.
we've also met at the book signing, that I fell in love with, like Alicia, so I've been reaching out to them. But that's kind of why I love talking with everybody, because I think everyone has such a powerful message. I think your message is so powerful, and I'm grateful that you're out there, because this is going to help so many women, so many children, you
Yeah,
know.
this is definitely a dream come true, and stepping forward and helping all of these women and children, teens, whoever needs it.
Yes. And I'm like still a little flabbergasted about the bestseller, I
Me
would
too.
recommend Hannah, Adriana, Nicole. I would recommend them to anyone. They really have a great business sense and really know how to reach that audience, like I didn't understand, like each book, this is book 7, has a very specific message, and they're all integral to things that we go through in life, like finances and trauma and tragedy, and the whole series is collectively moving people to a better place in health and wellness, physical, mental. So I'm grateful for She Rises and everything that they're putting out there, because I tried to read all of the books. So now that I know what they all are, I'm there. I'm in those books, because I get like devoured in them. Um, so yeah. So I'm glad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I agree with you. So
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we got to have this little coffee chat. If you could tell women anywhere, anything, what would that be?
be gentle with yourself. Make sure to fill your own cup first, and make sure to admire the woman that you see in the mirror before you walk out the door.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my very beautiful co-host, Kelly Montgomery, and she is a co-author in Unleash Her, but she's also out there helping children and women really just break through barriers that are holding them back and really step into the true people they're meant to be. So, this has been Kelly. I am going to leave her Facebook link here so that you can reach out to her. I think Kelly can help many people out there. Okay. So I'm going to shut this live off. Guys, you all have a good day. So I'm going to
Bye.
you stay